The crowd gasped at Tahoe's words. Director Juwoo's face changed from anger to something else. Fear. This is nonsense, she said. The Guardians of Galactic Order are just a myth. A story to scare children. Tahoe shook his head. No, they are real. And I have proof. He touched the controls again. The screen showed a list of names. Many were famous leaders, scientists, and military officers. Director Juwoo's name was there. So was General Youngmi's. This list was in the hidden files, Tahoe said. These are all members of the Guardians. General Youngmi jumped to her feet. This is a lie. You made this up. A high leader raised his hand. The room fell silent. How did you find these files, Tahoe? The high leader asked. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. It was an accident, Tahoe said. I was researching human myths for my trip to Earth. I found old reports about humans in an unused data system, but the reports didn't match what we were taught. So I dug deeper. Do-hyun stepped up beside Tahoe. I helped him search. We found thousands of changed reports, not just about humans, about other species too. Tahoe nodded. The Guardians have been changing our view of other species for centuries. They make some look worse than they are. They make others look better. Why? Someone shouted from the crowd. Why would they do this? Control, Tahoe said simply. If you control what people know, you control what they think. If you control what they think, you control what they do. Director Juwoo laughed, but the sound was not happy. And you learned this from humans, they who can't even agree on their own history. Yes, Tahoe said. Human history books often disagree because humans believe in questioning everything, even their own beliefs. It's their greatest strength. He turned to the crowd. But there's more to the story. The Guardians didn't just change reports. They blocked all contact with Earth. They stopped trade with humans. They told us humans were too dangerous to meet. Tahoe reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device. This contains all the hidden files, all the real reports, all the names of the Guardians, and their real reason for fearing humans. Director Juwoo moved quickly. She pulled out a weapon and pointed it at Tahoe. Give me that device, she said. Now. Guards moved toward the stage, but they seemed unsure what to do. The high leader stood frozen. Tahoe looked calmly at Director Juwoo. It's too late. When I pressed the button earlier, I didn't just lock the doors. I also sent copies of all these files to public data servers across the galaxy. Even if you kill me, the truth is already out there. Director Juwoo's hand shook. You don't understand what you've done. The humans cannot be trusted with power. They advance too quickly. They adapt too fast. In just a few hundred years, they went from horse carts to spaceships. Yes, Tahoe said. They learn fast. And that scared the Guardians. You weren't protecting us from humans. You were protecting your own power from a species that might one day be stronger than us. Do-hyun stepped forward. I have proof of that too, he said. He showed his own small screen. This is a recording of a Guardian meeting from 50 years ago. Watch. The big screen changed to show a group of Norans in a secret room. A younger Juwoo was there. If we allow free contact with humans, the leader in the recording said, they will learn our technology too quickly. In 100 years, they could match us. In 200, they could surpass us. We cannot allow this. We must keep them isolated and feared. The crowd watched in shock. The recording was real. There was no doubt. Suddenly, the high leader spoke. I have heard enough. He looked at the guards. Arrest Director Juwoo and General Youngmi, and anyone else named in those files. He turned to Tahoe. Tell us more about these humans. Tell us the truth. Tahoe nodded. The truth about humans is in their stories, he said. Their myths show who they really are. The grand hall of knowledge was packed. Every seat was taken. People stood along the walls. The air felt hot and thick with excitement. Tahoe waited in a small room behind the stage. He could hear the crowd through the door. His 4 hearts beat quickly. What he would say today would change everything. Director Juwoo entered the room. "It's time," she said. "The council members are all here. Even the high leader came to hear your report." Tahoe nodded. "Good. Everyone should hear this." Juwoo touched his arm. "Remember, Tahoe, our people are counting on you. Tell them what they need to know about the human threat." Tahoe looked at her. "I will tell them the truth, Juwoo. Only the truth." A bell rang 3 times. It was the signal. Tahoe walked onto the stage. The lights were bright. He could see thousands of silver faces looking at him. Screens around the hall showed his face to billions more across the galaxy. Director Juwoo spoke first. "Today we welcome back Dr. Tahoe, brave explorer and scientist. For 5 Earth years, he lived among the humans, studying their ways. He risked his life to bring us this knowledge. Now he will tell us what he learned about these dangerous beings." The crowd clapped. Tahoe stepped up to the speaking stand. He was supposed to start with the official report. That's what everyone expected. Instead, he said, "I want to tell you about my friend Hyunwoo." The room went quiet. This was not in the program. 3 Earth years ago, I was in a city called Seoul. The ground began to shake. Buildings fell. It was what humans call an earthquake. I was trapped under heavy stones. My leg was broken. I thought I would die there. Tahoe paused. The hall was silent now. A human found me. His name was Hyunwoo. He saw that I was not human. He knew I was alien. But he did not run away. He did not call their armies. He dug with his bare hands to free me. He carried me to safety. He hid me in his home and helped me heal. Whispers spread through the crowd. This story did not match what they believed about humans. Hyunwoo risked much to help me. If other humans found out, he could have been in danger. But he told me something I will never forget. He said, "It doesn't matter where you're from. What matters is that you needed help." Tahoe looked across the faces in the crowd. Some looked confused. Some looked angry. "Everything we have been told about humans is wrong," Tahoe said. "They are not simple, violent creatures. They are complex, caring beings. Yes, they fight wars, but they also write poetry. They hurt each other, but they also heal each other. They build weapons, but they also build hospitals." Near the front, a female Norin stood up. It was Youngmi, a famous military leader. "This is foolish," she said. "One human was kind to you. So you think they are all good. What about their many wars? Their weapons? The way they kill their own kind?" Tahoe nodded. "A fair question, General Youngmi. Humans do fight. They do hurt each other. But that is not all they are." He touched a control. The big screen behind him lit up. It showed humans helping each other after disasters. Humans giving food to strangers. Humans from different countries working together. "This is also who they are," Tahoe said. "And there is something else you should see. Something about our own history with humans." Director Juwoo stepped forward quickly. "I think that's enough for now. We should take a break." But Tahoe did not stop. He touched another control. The screen changed. It now showed 2 documents side by side. The document on the left is from our first contact with humans, 100 years ago, Tahoe said. The one on the right is the official version in our records. Look closely. They are not the same. The crowd began to murmur loudly. "Someone changed our history," Tahoe said. "And I know who did it. And why." For 1 long minute, no one in the grand hall moved. The sound of the landing ships filled the silence. Then the High Leader stepped forward. "Lower your weapons," he ordered the Guardian Guards. "We will meet these humans in peace." Xianhui did not lower her weapon. "This is a mistake," she said. "They will destroy everything we built." "Maybe some things need to be destroyed," the High Leader said, "and rebuilt better." More and more Norins from outside pushed into the hall. They had heard about the humans. They wanted to see. Tahoe walked to Xianhui. The Guardians have lied to us for too long. It's time for truth. She stared at him. Slowly, she lowered her weapon. You will regret this, she said. Perhaps, Tahoe said. But hiding from the future is not the answer. The High Leader called to his personal guards. Take the Guardian leaders into custody. We will deal with them later. As Xianhui and other Guardian officers were led away, Tahoe turned to the crowd. The humans have sent a small group, an embassy team. They want to talk, not fight. Do-Yun joined Tahoe near the door. How did you contact them? How did you arrange this? Tahoe smiled. I didn't leave Earth 5 years ago. I left 2 weeks ago. The rest of the time, I was working with humans to plan this meeting, to find a way to break the Guardian's power. The High Leader looked surprised. You lied about your return date. Yes, Tahoe said. It was the only way. The Guardians watched all official communications with Earth, but they didn't watch me. A new sound came from outside. Transport vehicles were approaching the hall. They're here, Tahoe said. Everyone moved back, making a path from the door to the stage. Even those who were afraid wanted to see the humans. The main doors opened wide. Bright light flooded in. 5 figures walked into the hall. They were humans. They looked strange to Noran eyes. Their skin was different colors, brown, black, and pale pink. They had hair on their heads in different styles. They wore simple blue clothes with a symbol on the chest, a circle with all the planets of their system. The human in front was a tall man with dark skin. He carried a small box. He walked with confidence but also care, watching the Norans around him. Tahoe stepped forward and bowed in the human way. Ambassador Ji-hoon, he said in the Noran language. Welcome to Nora. The human smiled and bowed back. Thank you, Tahoe, he said, also in perfect Noran. It is our honor to be here. A gasp went through the crowd. The humans spoke their language. How was this possible? The High Leader stepped forward. I am the High Leader of Nora. We did not expect visitors from Earth. Ambassador Ji-hoon nodded. We have been waiting for this day for a long time. We knew about your people for 30 Earth years. We watched your ships near our world. We learned your language from signals we caught. Why didn't you contact us? The High Leader asked. We tried, Ji-hoon said. Many times, but our messages were never answered. Now we know why. Tahoe nodded. The Guardians blocked all communication from Earth. They didn't want us talking to humans directly. Ji-hoon held out the box he carried. We bring gifts from Earth. Not weapons or technology, but something we think you will find more valuable. He opened the box. Inside were small data devices. These contain our stories, our myths, our art and music and films, the things that show who we really are. Sang-mi stepped closer, looking at the devices with wonder. Your stories. You would share them with us. Of course, Ji-hoon said. Stories are meant to be shared. That's how they grow. That's how we grow. The High Leader took one of the devices. I don't understand. Why would you share these if they are your strength? Ji-hoon smiled. Because we believe the galaxy is big enough for all of us. We believe different voices make better music together than alone. He looked around the hall at all the Noran faces. We've been watching and waiting. We could have built weapons. Instead, we built bridges. This is our way. The High Leader held the device carefully. Perhaps we have much to learn from humans after all. Ji-hoon nodded. And we have much to learn from you. This is just the beginning. The angry voices outside grew louder. Xianhui looked nervous for the first time. Report. She barked into her wrist device. We can't hold them back, a voice answered. Too many people. They've seen the files. They're demanding answers. Xianhui glared at Tahoe. This is your fault. Tahoe nodded. Yes, the truth is my fault. The High Leader stepped between Tahoe and Xianhui's weapon. You cannot shoot us all. You cannot hide the truth anymore. A crash came from the main doors. The people were breaking in. Wait, Tahoe shouted. He turned to the crowd in the hall. There is more you need to know. About humans. About why they are special. Xianhui laughed. Still trying to save your human friends. It's too late. Not for them, Tahoe said. For us. We need to understand humans before we meet them again. We need to understand their greatest strength. Which is? The High Leader asked. Their stories, Tahoe said. Their myths. He touched the controls again. The big screen showed human books, movies, and art. Humans tell stories about things that never happened, about people who never lived. We call this lying. They call it fiction, and it makes them strong. The doors burst open. Hundreds of angry Norans poured in. They stopped when they saw the screen. Look at this human story, Tahoe said. The screen showed a movie about a huge ship hitting ice and sinking. This never happened exactly this way, but humans watch it to learn about bravery, sacrifice, and love. He changed the screen to show another movie, about humans fighting monsters. This could never happen, but humans watch it to think about facing fear and working together. Tahoe looked around the room. The anger was changing to interest. Humans use stories to practice feelings, to think about hard choices before they happen, to imagine new worlds and new ideas. A female Norin stepped forward from the crowd. She wore the simple clothes of a teacher. I am Sangmi, she said. I study how different species think. And Tahoe is right. Human storytelling is special. It helps them adapt quickly to new problems. It helps them work together in new ways. Sangmi walked to stand beside Tahoe. I found the same things in my research. But the Science Council, controlled by the Guardians, would not let me publish my work. Because they knew the truth, Tahoe said. Human myths are not primitive. They are advanced tools for survival and growth. Tools we don't have. Xianhui raised her weapon again. This changes nothing. Humans are still a threat. Only if we treat them as enemies, Tahoe said. The Guardians have been doing that for 100 years. How has that worked? Humans keep growing stronger. They keep exploring space. Soon they will find us anyway. Wouldn't it be better if they found friends instead of enemies? The crowd murmured in agreement. Let me show you one more thing, Tahoe said. The screen changed to show a human child reading a book to a younger child. Humans teach their children to imagine through stories, to think of new ways to solve problems, to see the world through others' eyes. This is why they adapt so quickly. This is why they create such amazing things. He looked at Xianhui. And this is why they would make better friends than enemies. Suddenly, a new sound came from outside. It was different from the angry crowd. It was the sound of ships landing. Big ships. What is that? The High Leader asked. Tahoe smiled. That would be the humans. Everyone stared at him in shock. You brought humans here. Xianhui's face showed real fear now. Yes, Tahoe said. I invited them. They've been waiting for us to contact them. They've known about us for years. How? Minjin asked. They watched our ships. They listened to our signals. They learned our languages. They're very good at figuring things out. Tahoe walked toward the main doors of the hall. And now they're here to meet us officially. The question is, will they meet friends or enemies? The room was silent. Everyone had to decide. I suggest we welcome them, Tahoe said, and then listen to their stories. We might learn something. The grand hall was in chaos. Guards moved toward the stage. Director Jiwu tried to grab the controls from Tahoe's hands. This presentation is over, she shouted. But Tahoe was faster. He pressed a small button on his wrist. All the doors to the hall locked with a loud click. You will all hear the truth today, Tahoe said calmly. His voice carried over the noise. For too long, we have believed lies about humans. A High Leader stood up. He was old, with skin that had faded from silver to gray. "Let him speak," he said. The room grew quiet. Tahoe nodded thanks to the High Leader. "I will show you 4 big lies we have been told about humans." The screen changed to show a human family sharing food. Lie number 1. Humans are naturally aggressive and violent. The truth. Humans are deeply cooperative. They care for the weak. They help strangers. Yes, they fight. But fighting is not their first choice. Cooperation is. The screen changed again. Now it showed humans of many colors at a big party. Lie number 2. Humans fear those who are different. The truth. Humans celebrate difference. They have many races, languages, and beliefs on their one planet. Yes, they have conflicts about these things, but they also create art, music, and food that mixes their cultures. General Yummy stood up again. But their planet has nearly 200 different governments. They can't even agree on how to rule themselves. Tahoe smiled. That brings me to lie number 3. Human political systems are primitive and broken. The truth. Humans value different voices. They believe no one person should have all the power. Their many governments are not a weakness. They are a strength. The screen showed humans watching a movie together. They were crying. Lie number 4. Human stories are simple propaganda. The truth. Human storytelling is complex. They use stories to think about hard questions. What is right? What is wrong? What does it mean to be alive? Their best stories don't give easy answers. They make you think. Tahoe looked across the crowd. Some faces showed interest. Others showed doubt. A few showed anger. But why? Someone called out. Why would anyone lie about humans? An excellent question, Tahoe said. To answer it, I need to show you more documents. The screen changed to show old reports. They were marked top secret. These are the original reports from our first meetings with humans, Tahoe said. I found them in old data storage that no one uses anymore. Look at what really happened. The reports showed pictures of Norans and humans meeting peacefully, sharing food, learning each other's languages. Now look at the official reports we all know. The screen split to show the changed reports. The same pictures were there, but everything looked different. The humans looked angry. The text described them as dangerous and unpredictable. Someone changed these reports, Tahoe said. They made humans look bad. They made us afraid of humans. But why? Suddenly, a young Noran pushed through the crowd. It was Doyun, Tahoe's research assistant. It's true, Doyun shouted. I checked all the old records. Someone changed them all. The real reports show humans helped us. They shared their medicine when we had the great sickness. They gave us food when our crops failed. Director Juwu moved to the center of the stage. This is enough. Guards, take them both. The guards hesitated, looking at the High Leader. No, the High Leader said. I want to hear more. Who changed the reports, Tahoe? And why? Tahoe looked directly at Director Juwu. I think you already know, High Leader. The question is, will you let me tell everyone else? The crowd waited. No one moved. Show us, the High Leader said finally. Tahoe touched the controls again. The screen changed to show a symbol, a circle with 3 stars. This is the mark of the Guardians of Galactic Order, Tahoe said. A secret group that has shaped our policies for centuries. And Director Juwu is one of them. Guards surrounded Director Juwu and General Youngmi. The guards took away Juwu's weapon. The crowd was talking loudly. Everyone was shocked by what they had seen. The High Leader called for quiet. We will have order, he said. His voice echoed in the big hall. This is serious. If what Tahoe says is true, our whole society is built on lies. Director Juwu laughed even though guards held her arms. You are all fools, she said. The Guardians have kept peace for 1,000 years. We have protected the galaxy. From what? Tahoe asked. from humans who only want to learn and grow, from a species that could be our greatest friend. Friend, Juvu spat the word. The humans would destroy us all, not with weapons, but with ideas, their art, their stories, their way of seeing the world. It would change everything. Maybe some things need to change, Tahoe said. The High Leader looked at Juwu. How many of you are there? How deep does this go? Juwu smiled. Deeper than you can imagine. The Guardians are everywhere, in every government, in every school, in every news station. A new voice spoke from the back of the hall. She is right. Everyone turned. A tall, thin Noran walked down the center aisle. It was Minjin, the head of the Science Council. I am also a guardian, Minjin said. I have been for 60 years. The crowd backed away from him as he walked. The guards looked confused. Should they arrest him too? But I disagree with Juwu, Minjin continued. I have been watching Tahoe's work. I have read his reports from Earth. I think we were wrong about humans. He reached the front of the room and turned to face the crowd. The Guardians began with good goals. After the last Great War, we wanted to make sure such fighting never happened again. We thought fear would keep peace. Fear of humans. Fear of the unknown. And it worked, Juwu said. For 1,000 years, our worlds have had peace. Yes, Minjin said. But at what cost? We stopped growing. We stopped changing. We became stuck in old ways. Tahoe stepped forward, while humans kept growing. That's what really scares the Guardians. Humans change so fast. They try new things. They are not afraid to fail. Minjin nodded. Look at this. He pulled out his own screen and showed it to the crowd. It displayed 2 pictures side by side. This is Earth 200 years ago, he said, pointing to the first picture. It showed humans in simple clothes, riding in horse carts. And this is Earth now. The second picture showed tall buildings, flying cars, and humans with advanced tools. In 200 years, they went from horses to space travel, Minjin said. It took us 2,000 years to do the same. The High Leader looked troubled. If they advance so quickly, won't they soon be more powerful than us? Isn't that dangerous? Only if we make them our enemies, Tahoe said. But what if we made them our friends instead? What if we learned from each other? Suddenly, a loud bang shook the hall. One of the locked doors exploded inward. Smoke filled the room. People screamed. Through the smoke came a group of armed Norans. They wore the symbol of the Guardians on their uniforms. They pointed weapons at Tahoe. The presentation is over, said their leader, a cold-faced female named Xianhui. You will all forget what you saw here today. Tahoe did not look afraid. It's too late, Xianhui. The files are public now. Everyone in the galaxy can see them. Then we will control the story, she said. We will say you made it all up. We will say you are working with humans to destroy us. The High Leader stepped forward. I will not allow this. Xianhui pointed her weapon at him. You have no power here. The Guardians have always been the real rulers. The Council, the leaders, all puppets. More guards appeared at other doors. They too wore the Guardian symbol. Tahoe looked around. The truth was out, but the Guardians still had power. They still had weapons. Then he heard a sound. A new sound. It came from outside the hall. It was the sound of many voices. Angry voices. The people had heard the truth. And they were coming. The ship broke through the pale blue clouds of Nora. Tahoe looked through the window at his home planet. He had been away for 5 Earth years. His heart beat fast as the ship dropped lower. Landing in 5 minutes, said the ship's computer. Tahoe checked his notes one last time. 5 years of living with humans. 5 years of eating their food, learning their languages, and watching their lives. No alien had ever spent so much time on Earth. Other scientists had only watched humans from far away. Tahoe had lived among them. He knew this report would shock his people, but they needed to hear the truth. The ship landed with a soft bump. Tahoe took a deep breath and stood up. As the door opened, bright lights flashed in his face. Hundreds of reporters waited outside. Dr. Tahoe, how was Earth? Did the humans try to hurt you? Is it true they eat other animals? Tahoe raised his four-fingered hands. The crowd grew quiet. I will answer all questions at tomorrow's meeting, he said. His voice was tired but firm. Director Jiwoo pushed through the crowd. She was tall, even for an Orin, with silver skin that shone under the spaceport lights. Welcome home, Tahoe, she said. Her smile did not reach her eyes. The council is very eager to hear your report. I'm sure they are, Tahoe said. He picked up his case of research materials. It held thousands of hours of notes, videos, and samples from Earth. They walked to a waiting car. As they drove through the capital city, Tahoe saw his face on giant screens. The words under his picture read, Hero Orituarans are from dangerous mission to Earth. You're famous, Jiwoo said. The whole galaxy is waiting to hear about the humans. Everyone wants to know if they are as violent as we think. Tahoe looked out the window. My findings might surprise people. Jiwoo's smile disappeared. What do you mean? You'll find out tomorrow, like everyone else. The car stopped at Tahoe's home. It was just as he had left it 5 years ago. Simple, clean, and quiet. So different from the noisy, colorful homes of humans. Once inside, Tahoe called his research assistant, Do-Yun. Did you get the files I sent? Tahoe asked. Yes, Do-Yun said. His young face looked worried on the screen. Tahoe, these records, if they're real. They're real. I found them in the old Earth mission archives. They've been hiding the truth for 100 years. But why would they lie about humans? I have some ideas, Tahoe said. But first we need to show everyone what we found. Is the backup plan ready? Yes. If anything happens at the meeting, I can send everything to public servers across the galaxy. No one can stop it. Good. I'll see you tomorrow. After ending the call, Tahoe opened a small box. Inside was a gift from his human friend Hyunwoo. A simple bracelet made of woven string. On Earth, they called it a friendship bracelet. Such a small thing, but it meant so much. The next morning, Tahoe dressed in his best clothes. The Grand Hall of Knowledge would be full today. Thousands would come in person. Billions would watch from other worlds. His door chimed. A driver waited to take him to the hall. As they drove, Tahoe saw more screens with his face. Some showed pictures of Earth with warning signs. Others showed old videos of human wars. His people were being prepared to hear how dangerous humans were. They would not be ready for the truth. The car stopped at the Grand Hall. Tahoe stepped out and looked up at the huge building. Inside, the most powerful people in the galaxy waited to hear about the dangerous humans. But first, they would learn about their own lies. Tahoe touched the friendship bracelet hidden under his sleeve and walked up the steps. 1 year had passed since the humans first came to Nora. So much had changed. Tahoe stood on a balcony looking out at the city of Busan on Earth. Tall buildings reached to the sky. Flying cars moved between them. But what made Tahoe smile were the silver faces among the humans on the streets below. Norans were now common on Earth, and humans were common on Nora. Behind him, the doors to the Interspecies Cultural Academy opened. Hyunwoo walked out to join him. Ready for class? Hyunwoo asked. Tahoe nodded. The new students arrived today. 50 Norans and 50 humans will learn together. Just like we planned, Hyunwoo said. He touched the friendship bracelet on his wrist. It matched the one on Tahoe's wrist. They walked inside to a large classroom. The walls were covered with art from both worlds. Books in many languages filled the shelves. Students began to file in. Young humans and young Norans, talking and laughing together as if they had always known each other. Tahoe stepped to the front of the room. Welcome to Comparative Mythology as Evolutionary Strategy. I am Professor Tahoe, and this is Professor Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo smiled at the class. In this course, we will study how humans and Norrens use stories differently, and what we can learn from each other. A young Norren raised her hand. It was Hyerin, now a year older and a student at the academy. Professor Taho, she said, is it true that the Guardians of Galactic Order have been stopped? Taho nodded. Yes. After the truth came out, the Federation Council found all the Guardian members. Some, like Director Juwoo, still believe humans are dangerous. They are not allowed to work in government anymore. And others? Hyerin asked. Others, like General Youngmi, changed their minds, Taho said. Youngmi now works with the Human Norren Defense Team. She says she was wrong about humans. A human student raised his hand. What about the changed records? The lies about human history? Good question, Hyunwoo said. For the past year, human and Norren historians have worked together to fix the records, to find the truth. Taho nodded. And that is why this academy exists, to make sure no more lies come between our peoples. After class, Taho and Hyunwoo walked through the garden of the academy. Other teachers were there too. Dr. Minna sat with Norren language students. Professor Jawon showed Norren artists how to paint in the human style. It's working better than we hoped, Hyunwoo said. Taho smiled. Yes, and not just here. Trade between our worlds grows every day. Human medicine helps Norrens. Norren technology helps humans. We learn from each other. Ambassador Jihoon joined them in the garden. He wore formal clothes with both human and Norren symbols. The Federation Council voted today. Jihoon said, Earth is now officially part of the Galactic Federation, the first new member in 500 years. And the Guardian files? Taho asked. All made public, Jihoon said. No more secrets, no more lies. As night fell, students and teachers gathered in the garden. Humans and Norrens sat together under the stars. Hyerin started a song in the Norren language. A human student joined in, adding harmony. Taho watched them with pride. Then he noticed something. Near the back of the garden stood a figure he knew well. It was General Youngmi. She walked slowly to where Taho stood. You were right, she said simply. I was wrong about humans. The Guardians were wrong. It's not about being right or wrong, Taho said. It's about being open to new ideas, to change. Like humans, Youngmi said. Yes, Taho nodded. That's their real strength. Not their technology or their numbers, but their stories. Their ability to imagine new futures and then make them real. Around them, humans and Norrens talked and laughed. They shared stories and songs. They made plans for tomorrow. What happens next? Youngmi asked, looking at the mixed group. Taho smiled. That's the best part. No one knows. We will write that story together. Under the stars of Earth, two species once kept apart by lies now sat side by side, creating new myths, building new truths. Together, the grand hall was quiet again, but not from fear. Now it was from wonder. The humans stood among the Norrens, different but also somehow familiar. The High Leader spoke to the crowd. Today is a new day for our people. Today we learn truth, not lies. Today we meet new friends, not enemies. He turned to Ambassador Jihoon. We must talk more. My council chamber is ready. Jihoon nodded. Yes, but first, may I speak to everyone here? The High Leader led him to the center of the stage. Jihoon looked out at the sea of silver faces. His 4 human companions stood nearby, smiling at the crowd. People of Nora, Jihoon said, for too long, we have been kept apart by fear and lies. Humans have watched your ships. We have caught your signals. We have learned about you, but we could not talk to you directly. He held up a small round device. This is a translator, though I don't need it today. I learned your language from Taho. But most humans don't know Norren yet. We want to change that. One of the other humans stepped forward. She was shorter with long black hair. I am Dr. Mina, she said in careful Norren. I study languages. I want to teach humans your language, and teach Norans our languages. Another human, a tall man with light skin, stepped forward. I am Professor Jowan. I study art and stories. I want our stories to meet your stories. The crowd murmured with interest. These humans did not seem scary at all. General Youngme, still held by guards, called out, "Don't be fooled. They show their soft side now. But humans can be violent. They fight wars." Ambassador Jihoon nodded. "Yes, we have fought wars. We have done terrible things. We don't hide this truth. It is in our stories too, the good and the bad." He walked closer to the edge of the stage. "But we learn from our mistakes. We grow. We change. That is our way." A young Norin pushed through the crowd. She couldn't be more than 15 years old, just a student. She walked right up to the humans. "I am Hiren," she said in a small voice. "I saw the files that Tahoe shared. I saw how the Guardians lie to us. I want to know the truth about humans." The crowd went silent. Even the High Leader watched with surprise. Ambassador Jihoon knelt down to be at her level. "Ask anything, Hiren. We will tell you the truth." "Do humans really make up stories that aren't real?" she asked. Jihoon smiled. "Yes. We call it fiction. It helps us think about new ideas. It helps us feel things we haven't felt before." "Can you tell me a human story?" Hiren asked. "I would be happy to," Jihoon said. Then he looked up at the crowd. "In fact, I think everyone should hear a human story today." The High Leader nodded. "Yes. Let us all hear." Jihoon stood up. "This is a very old human story. It's about a traveler who meets strangers who look different and speak differently. At first, he is afraid. But then he learns they are kind. They help him when he is hurt, and he learns that family can be found anywhere in the universe." As Jihoon told the simple story, the Norans listened closely. Some moved closer to hear better. Even those who had been afraid seemed interested now. When the story ended, young Hiren stepped forward again. She took something from her pocket, a small band made of woven threads in bright colors. "This is a friendship band," she said. "We make them in school. I want you to have it." She held it out to Jihoon. He took it carefully and put it on his wrist. "Thank you, Hiren," he said. "On Earth, we have something very similar. We call them friendship bracelets." Tahoe smiled and showed his own wrist, where him whose bracelet still sat. "Yes, they do." General Youngme watched this simple exchange. For the first time, doubt showed on her face. Maybe she had been wrong about humans after all. The High Leader stepped forward. "Come, Ambassador. We have much to discuss. A new future to build." As the humans and Noran leaders left for the council chamber, the crowd began to talk excitedly. The fear was gone. A new understanding had begun.